Hey everyone. So today I was looking at square numbers and I noticed a couple of patterns. So I'm going to go into it in more detail at a later date, but just to give a quick introduction to the concept, I noticed that looking at the digital root that you will get from the square numbers, I noticed that further on down the line, you get the square numbers digital root adds up to a square number. So like 289 is 2 plus 8 plus 9, which is 19. 1 plus 9 is 10. 1 plus 0 is 1. The digital root is 1, which is a square number. For 324, 3 plus 2 plus 4 is 9. 9 is a square number. So I noticed that this pattern seemed to continue throughout every square number. And I was actually interested in square numbers from a very early age. I learned how to do my square times tables before any of my other times tables, just sitting there one day with a calculator typing in 1 times 1, 2 times 2, 3 times 3. So I ended up learning a very strange way. Like when I was writing this out from memory, it got down to 16. It's just something that's always taken my attention whenever anything includes square numbers. I do find that there's a lot of interesting patterns to unpack, to be honest. I should probably keep it brief for this video. The magic squares is another thing that we can get into because that has an amazing wealth of information in it as well. For now, we'll go with the order that I went in to find the square numbers. So obviously 1 would be 1, 4 would be 4, 9 would be 9, 16 would be 7. But I decided to keep it as 16 for now to see if there's any other patterns that emerge as we progress. So 25 is kept as 25, even though that would also be 7, 2 plus 5. 36 is 9, and 49 is 13, 1 plus 3 is 4. 64 is 10, 1 plus 0 is 1. 81, 8 plus 1 is 9. 100, 1 is 1. So you get this pattern that seems to be emerging here, where it will be a digital root of 9, then 4, then 1, then 9, then 1, then 4, then 9, then the 16 and 25. But both of these would have a root of 7. The 16 here is because 1 plus 6 plus 9, so that equals 16. Then 1 plus 6 is 7. This one, because of the 25 mirroring this 25, I saw the 19 plus 6, which would make 25. And I thought, okay, that's not how digital root works. You don't just get to put two numbers together and add them. So it was a weak link, but I thought I'd include it anyway to see if anything came of it. And as we get up to the next part of the pattern, it goes 941, 914, 9, then the 2 7s. See it a bit better. The 4 add 8 add 4 is 16. Then the 5 add 2 add 9 is 16. And there was no way of looking at 52 plus 9 is 61. That's not a square number. 5 plus 29 is 34, not a square number. I mean, both of them add up to 7. You got 61, 6 and 1 is 7, or you got 34, 3 and 4 is 7. So it became obvious that we're not looking at 16s or 25s here. We're looking at 7s. So I went up to the 40th integer, interval, whatever the word is, iteration of square numbers. Went up to square number 40. And after noticing the replicating pattern has 9 numbers in it, as it goes 941, 914, 977. I also recognize that within the pattern, because of the 14 and the 41 switching, it actually becomes a palindromic number if you put the 9 in the center, the 9 that's at the end here, if I put it in the center. So a palindrome is something that is the same forwards as it is backwards, like the word race car or boob. And a number sequence that works the same forwards as backwards is this one that you would have to, I guess, start with the 7. So it's 794191497. So I put these in a wheel. I put the middle number at the top, in a similar way than I did with my circle of modes from the 7 modes of the major scale. So we've got in this pattern I use the 9-spoked wheel that you would have possibly seen from an earlier video. The 9-spoked wheel is what gives you the vortex for the 3, 6, and 9 for Tesla's numbers. And in the 3, 6, and 9 position, you actually have 3 9s. Then, interestingly, in each of the quarters, you have 1 and 4, 1 and 4, and then 7 and 7. And 7 and 7 make 14, which is a 1 and 4. There's also the other 2 triangles, so you've got the 3 9s, then you get 1, 4, 7. So any of you that would have looked into the 3, 6, and 9 patterns would know that 1, 4, 7, 2, 5, 8, and 3, 6, 9 are the 3 groupings. The way the triangles form out of the square numbers arranged in this circle are quite interesting. So the relationship between these numbers is very in-depth. You notice that they are actually 3 steps away from each other. The 147, the 258, and the 369. It's because things balance out in threes. The 3 is the mediation wave. If you were to line up all of the prime numbers and put loads of lines in between every time you go between one prime number and another prime number, you would cross over a 3, 6, or 9. It's the mediation. So the 3 9s would account for the 3, 6, and 9. And the other 3 gives a value of 5. 1 plus 4 is 5. 14, 1 plus 4 is 5. Both 9 and 5 are mother numbers. 9 add 5 is 14. And Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy fans might like this bit, as this is the answer coming up right now. If you were to add the 3 9s, you get 27. The 3 5s are 15. And 27 and 15 be 42. That is the answer. So yeah, that's about as far as I'm going to delve into it today. There's plenty more. There's plenty more in this pattern. And there's plenty more for the 3, 6, and 9 vortex wheel coming up, especially for fans of the Mandelbrot set. Extra things in there. So thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for more.